As national attention really continues and remains focused on the case of Gabby Petito, some of the conversation has now moved to an extremely difficult topic.
Pioneering black broadcaster Gwen Ifill coined the term missing white woman syndrome to describe the attention paid to certain missing persons cases. Fox 13's Max Roth takes an in-depth look.
We talk a lot about this at Fox 13, honoring the intense interest in a story while trying to bring out some of the bigger issues that the story evokes, like domestic violence in this case, or law enforcement, or mental illness. And in this case, one of those issues is the coverage itself.
This is nothing new to me, being a person of color, growing up here in Utah.
State Representative Angela Romero isn't upset about Gabby Petito getting attention. She's upset that women of color don't get the same headlines.
And so these are difficult conversations that we have to have. And if we don't have these conversations, nothing's going to change.
Romero wants to change the reality for Native American women. She's Latina and Native American herself, but she was surprised when she met with the group Restoring Ancestral Winds.
And they told me about the epidemic and the number of women who went missing that are indigenous to our state, meaning they're Native American. And it horrified me.
Gabby Petito died in Wyoming, and that's where a state government report this year showed indigenous people were 3% of the population and 22% of murder victims so far in this century. And only 18% of murdered indigenous women got any media attention.
In many cases, when we're talking about our indigenous communities, when families knew that something had happened to their loved one or they didn't go missing alone, they weren't believed.
The pattern holds in other communities. This 2016 study in the Journal of Criminal Law and Criminology found clear evidence of what is commonly called missing white woman syndrome. FBI statistics show females went missing slightly less than males, but females got 73% of the headlines. Black people made up 35% of missing persons and got 13% of the coverage. White people got 68% of the coverage, and the FBI statistics did not track how many missing persons cases were Hispanic or Latino. A reminder for Romero of what she felt as a young girl in Utah.
I read The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and it opened up my eyes to this feeling that I had growing up because I didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, and I felt invisible at times.
We've gone to Utah reservations to cover this issue of missing indigenous women, and as COVID rules loosen, we look forward to covering the initiative that was created by Representative Romero in legislation passed in 2019 to work with tribes to solve a problem that deserves attention. In the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.